Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to crack open a toolkit that belongs to every single citizen of India. We're talking, of course, about the fundamental rights guaranteed by the Constitution. But first, just think about it for a second. Imagine a world with no basic protections, a world where power could go completely unchecked, and your freedom just wasn't a guarantee. It's a pretty scary thought, right? Well, the people who wrote the Indian Constitution thought so too. And that's exactly why they built a powerful shield right into the fabric of the nation. This shield, this is what we call our fundamental rights. So what are they, really? You'll find them in Part 3 of the Constitution, and they're basically the essential freedoms you're guaranteed just for being a citizen. They're there to make sure everyone can live a life with dignity and fairness. But here's the real kicker. They can be enforced. That means if someone violates your rights, you can actually walk into a court and demand justice. That part is huge. Okay. So let's dive in. Let's unbox this toolkit, shall we? Inside, we're going to find 6 main tools, the 6 core freedoms that every single one of us has. First up, the right to equality. Pretty straightforward, it means no discrimination. Then you've got the right to freedom, which covers all the big ones, like your freedom of speech. Next, the right against exploitation. This protects you from things like forced labor. Of course, there's the right to freedom of religion, and also cultural and educational rights, which are so important for protecting minorities. And last but definitely not least is the right to constitutional remedies. Now, you want to pay attention to this one. It's kind of like the master key that makes all the other rights actually work. But here's the thing. This toolkit isn't some dusty relic from the 1950s. Not at all. It's a living, breathing set of protections that's always being upgraded to take on the challenges of our modern world. So how does it adapt? Well, it happens through something called judicial interpretation. The courts, and especially the Supreme Court, look at the Constitution, and one article in particular, Article 21, the right to life and personal liberty, and they expand what it means. They find ways to apply it to issues the original framers could never have even imagined. And you can see it right here in action. Back in 2002, the right to education became a fundamental right. Then, in 2017, a huge landmark case declared that the right to privacy is fundamental. And get this, by 2019, even the right to access the internet was being seen as part of our freedom of speech. See, the toolkit just keeps getting new, powerful attachments. Okay, a toolkit is great, but it's pretty useless if you don't know how to power it up, right? So let's talk about the 5 writs. Think of these as your constitutional superpowers that bring all your rights to life. So what's a writ? It's basically a direct order from a high court or the Supreme Court. These are the tools you use when you need to take action, when one of your fundamental rights has been stepped on. This is how you hold the state accountable. Now, among these superpowers, one of them is an absolute heavy hitter. It's maybe the most powerful human rights tool in the world. Habeas corpus. It's Latin, and it literally means produce the body. Just imagine this. A friend of yours is taken by the police, and you have no idea where they are or why they were taken. A lawyer can file a habeas corpus petition, and that forces the authorities to bring your friend before a court and explain themselves. It's the ultimate shield against anyone being locked up illegally. It protects your personal liberty above everything else. But habeas corpus isn't your only power. You got 4 others. There's mandamus, which basically tells a public official to, do their job. Then there's prohibition, which stops a lower court from overstepping its authority. After that, you got certiorari, which can straight up cancel an illegal order that a court has already passed. And finally, quo warranto, which asks a very powerful question. By what authority are you in this public office? It's a whole arsenal for accountability. Now, those last 2, prohibition and certiorari, they can sound kind of similar, right? They both deal with the courts. But here's a super simple way to think about it. Prohibition prevents a problem. It stops a court from doing something illegal before it happens. Certiorari cures a problem. It fixes an injustice after it's already happened by canceling the decision. So one prevents, the other cures. Simple as that. So, after all that, let's just pull back for a second. Why does this whole system of rights and writs and superpowers, why does it matter so much? Let's look at the big picture. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, the main architect of India's constitution, he called Article 32, that's the one that gives us these writs, he called it the heart and soul of the Constitution. And why? Because without it, all the other rights are just words on a page. This is the part that gives them all teeth. When you put it Altogether, these rights are literally the bedrock of our society. They protect our dignity, they safeguard democracy by making sure we can speak our minds, they put a check on state power so it can't be abused, they push for social justice, and by creating a sense of equality, they make our national unity that much stronger. So you see, this toolkit, it's not just some chapter in a textbook. It is your personal shield, and it is your voice. The only question left is, now that you know what's inside, how are you going to use it?